A very warm good morning to one and all present here. Today, I, Aparna Jain, your science teacher, is going to explain you chapter number 15 of your book, Blow Hot, Blow Cold. Let's start with aims of the lesson. To know about the concept of hot air. To learn the concept of cold air. To understand the direction of air. Before proceeding with the chapter, I would like to narrate one story to you. This is a story of a woodcutter and a man named Mian Belishte. There was a woodcutter. He used to cut wood in the forest and sell those in the evening. One day he went deep into the forest and it was very cold. His fingers were becoming numb. So, for making his hands warm, he used to bring his hand close to his mouth and blow on them. Mian Balishte was observing the woodcutter continuously, but he could not understand why he was continuously blowing on his hand. He became very curious and decided to ask this from woodcutter. Woodcutter explained to him that it is too cold. His hands are frozen, so he blew on them to warm up. Mian understood and stayed nearby. At lunchtime, woodcutter again blew on fire to light it and increase the supply of oxygen. He put a small earthen pot filled with potatoes to boil them. Mian was observing all this very carefully. Woodcutter took out potatoes which were too hot, so he again blew on them. Now Mian was surprised and asked woodcutter why he is blowing on the hot potatoes. They are already warm. Is he going to burn them with his breath? He asked woodcutter. Woodcutter said he is blowing on them to cool the potatoes. Now Mian's face became white and he was frightened. He said he must be a ghost or a jinn, blowing hot air and cold air with the same mouth. It's impossible. So he ran away, thinking a woodcutter is a ghost or a jinn. What do you think? Woodcutter is really a ghost or a jinn? Let's find out. Have you ever wondered why this happened? This happened because air coming out from our mouth can be hot or cold as compared to temperature outside. For example, when woodcutter blew on hands, his hands were colder than his breath because there was winters. That's why it helped them to warming the hands. In the same way, when he blew on hot potatoes, those potatoes were hotter than his breath. That's why it helped them to cool it. Moreover, when you have a hot cup of coffee or tea, you blow on it to make it cool because your breath is cooler than the cup of coffee or tea, whatever you are drinking. During winters, we keep on blowing our hands because at that time our hands are more cooler than our breath, or we can say our breath is hotter than our hands. There are various activities that we do by blowing. For example, playing various musical instruments. Let's see various examples of musical instruments that produce musical sound when blown into. First one is shehnai. Another example is of saxophone. Next is beans. And one more is flute. These are few examples of musical instruments that produces musical sound when we blow into them. Now, I have one activity for you. You have to keep your hand close to your mouth and blow hard on it. How do you feel? Whether your breath is hotter or colder? Now, you have to keep your hand at little bit distance and again blow on it. Now how it feels? Whether it is hot or cold? If woodcutter was a ghost or a jinn, then we all are also a ghost or a jinn. Because when we keep our hands closer to our mouth and blow on them, we find our breath to be hot. And when we blow on our hands, keeping them at some distance, we find our breath to be colder. Right? And of course, whenever you get hurt, so what mama do? Mama take a piece of cloth, blow on it and keep it on your injury. That gives you relief. Right? So, and when she blow on the piece of cloth and keep on your injury, you find the cloth hotter. Let's find out why this happened. When we keep our hands at some distance and blow on them, the air around us get mixed with air blown from our mouth and we feel it colder on our hands. In the same way, when we keep our hands close to our mouth, air cannot mix with air around and feels warm. Same happens with cloth. Cloth is kept close to our mouth and again air around us cannot mix with the air blown from our mouth and we feel the cloth hotter. So this was your part 1 of the chapter number 15, blow hot, blow cold. We are going to continue with the chapter in the next part of the video. I hope you all have understood this part. Thank you.